Welcome, friends, to I Am Magic. Today, I am the king, a mighty artificer who bends others to his will.
Looks like I've got a pretty good hand. I've got a Torpor Orb, Bottled Cloister, Throne of Empires, and Kadatha Forge Master. The thing that really makes this hand playable, though, is the Semblance Anvil. Otherwise, with two lands, it just wouldn't do it for me. But with that Semblance Anvil, it's a pretty safe game. So just need one more land, and I can play anything in my deck. All right, looks like Sacred Foundry, so I'm going up against Boros, and looks like it's a Boros Soul Sisters. Okay, I'm really glad I have the Torpor Orb. Alright, got my third land. Perfect. I'm going to drop that Torpor Orb out. And that'll really shut down his game plan. Okay. Yep, indeed, that shuts down your sisters. Can't do anything with them with Torpor Orb. No more gaining life, as my first decree. Looks like they need to double check. But yeah, a lot of people think Torpor Orb only works on creatures with Enter the Battlefield abilities written on them, but it does work with the Soul Sister cards, shutting down every creature that comes in fails to trigger their ability. So yep, so just gonna give them a little bit of time to look that up, and while they do, I'll talk a little bit about the game plan of my deck. We've got the basic win plan is with the Empire's artifacts, the Crown, Throne, and Scepter of Empires. With all three of those out, I get to put out 5 1/1 soldiers every turn, steal one of their creatures, and hit them for 3 direct damage. So they're really powerful together, and they're fairly useful artifacts all by themselves. And then I just use the rest of my artifacts to kind of disrupt their game plan while I'm fishing those out. Kadatha Forge Master is great for getting just what I need in any circumstance, so I'm glad to have him out right now. Okay, looks like they're really having some trouble figuring this out, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little searching for them. Just do a Google search of Torpor Orb Souls Warden, and we see a lot of talk about it. I'm just going to grab the first one, which does confirm that Torpor Orbs shuts down Soul Sisters, and it's a really useful card. It also will shut down Twin. It'll shut down most of Pod. It shuts down a lot of the rogue decks. Yeah, Torpor Orb definitely is worth the main deck slot in my deck, especially because if I can't use it, I can just sack it with the Forge Master. One thing to keep in mind with it, though, is it doesn't stop alter Enter the Battlefield effects. Like if it says such and such a card enters the battlefield with, or with Iona, you know, those things aren't stopped, which is important to remember when you're playing this. Okay, looks like they're fine with it, and they're going to throw out a Martyr of Sands. That should gain them a healthy dose of life. Looks like they're thinking of what to do here. Okay, gonna pass the turn. Oh, and there we go, I drew the Ensnaring Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge works great alongside Bottled Cloister because it stops every creature equal to your hand size, and on their turn your hand size is always 0. So with that combo in my hand, I'm going to drop the Semblance Anvil and feel safe in exiling my throne for now. I can always search for another throne later. Soul Sisters doesn't typically run a whole lot of artifact destruction main deck, but it does shut down artifact activation with things like Stony Silence in the sideboard. Okay, looks like they're going to activate their Martyr of Sands. There's one card, 2, 3, 4. So that's a healthy dose of life for them. Okay. And out comes another sister. The fetch land. And they're gonna get another foundry. Okay, I'm going to preemptively hide my exile zone because things are going to be going straight into there once I throw out Cloister. Drop a defense grid so he can't play anything on my turn. That gives me 3 mana open for Cloister and the bridge. Okay, so now he's got 2 creatures out and he can't attack at all. Looks like he's pondering the board state. Yeah, defense grid's in there mostly to fight against counter spells, but with Golgotha, Forge Master in my hand, the more artifacts on the field, the better, so doesn't look like he's seeing a way around this. I'm anticipating a scoop, and if that happens, then I'll see you next time for Game 2, which I'll air next week.